Hi, everyone. Welcome to this morning's meditation town hall. And Lama will be with us very shortly. And I want to bring your attention to a couple of things we have coming up. One is on July 22nd, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And that will be the Awakening to the Buddha Within. We are all Buddhas by nature. And if you haven't read the book, it's awesome. It tells you everything from about Buddhism from A to Z. And it's fun. It's a fun read and you learn a lot. And it is a resource book, I know, for me. So that is happening. And then on and I hope to see you there. And then join us in the fall. This is a first in-person retreat in 4 years at the Sierra Retreat Center in Malibu, California. If you haven't been on retreat with Lama Surya, it is profound. I remember my first retreat with Lama Surya. I saw him at a book signing before the retreat, and he said to me, "Dory, are you scared?" And I said, "Yes, I'm terrified." He says, "Don't worry, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to chant, we're going to sing, we're going to meditate, and it's going to be a wonderful time, and you will love it." And I did. So I can't say enough about that. And so registration is open. If you look in the chat, I've put everything in the chat about donating to Dzogchen Center so that we can reach more people and carry on Lama Surya's mission of transmission. And the link is there. Also, membership offers. Doesn't matter what level you are, you get the same membership. Essentially, you get everything, and it helps those of us that need it with a little bit of a discount on things. And so, and it serves to help the mission as well. And then below that in the chat, there is the link to all of the programs at dzogchen.org so that you can choose and pick and look and check everything out. And when you're a member, there's an amazing library of videos and articles that you can read by Lama Surya. So it's pretty cool. Also, if we have time for questions at the end, please put your questions in the chat to me, Dzogchen Foundation. Direct them directly to me, please, and then I can read them out for Lama Surya because he can't really see what's in the chat. I understand. So in the everyone chat. So so you might, that would be a good thing if you have questions. So and Lama should be with us in a moment or two. Yay.
Hi, everybody. Good morning, Dory.
Good morning, Lama. Welcome.
See you, Wolves. Thank you. Look, there's everybody. Some people meditating, praying, contemplating. Some people, I won't mention their names, eating, drinking, sipping tea, dozing in rocking chairs. I see you all. Don't think I don't. I know all of your thoughts. Not really. It's all good anyway. It's nice to get together, isn't it? On a Sunday, a day of rest, a beautiful summer here. Things are heating up around here. We better get on with it. Seize the day. Seize the moment. Prioritize our time and energy and aspirations and intentions. Spend the time on things that we care about, with people we love, and commune and collaborate with, and not waste time or procrastinate. Killing time is just like deadening ourselves. It's now or never, as always. Somebody was telling me that they're practicing praying to be reborn in Padmasambhava's Pure Land, that they're reading this book about how to be Guru Rinpoche. So I'm not going to go into that now. This is a public meditation town hall. But those of you with ears to hear, you can see what we're talking about and doing. Of course, prayer, intention, motivation, aspiration is part of the path of enlightenment of Buddhism too. Whatever people may think or say about it not being a religion or anything else. On the other hand, we don't really pray in the Dzogchen tradition to be reborn somewhere else. The paradise, the Pure Land, the sacred place, if you want to call it a place of Dzogchen, is here and now, as always. Kunta Zampo's Pure Land, the nowness, beyond time, beyond past, present, and future, the fourth time, the fourth fraction, divine time, intersecting horizontal, sequential, linear time, past, present, future, now, the ascendant dimension, what Christian mystics call divine time. We have a special term for it in Dzogchen. Shichat means the fourth fraction, the fourth time in Buddhist parlance. Let's pray to be reborn, have spiritual rebirth, reinvent ourselves, awaken, whatever word you use right now, Leo. Caught you! Oh, you gotta love it. I'll tell you, the shortest distance between two people is a smile and a laugh. Oh, thank God for Kunta Zampo and non-theistic Buddhism. That's what I always say. Thank God for the Dharma. I love it. Look at Steve Ledoux there. He's surrounded by some kind of paradise or Buddha field. This is a great subject that we don't usually talk about. Ed Johnson has a big Buddha and rainbows behind him. Keep it close, Ed. That's what I say. Keep it close. Closer than close, closer than one's own breath. I'm looking around, all the beautiful people here in Kunta Zampo's Buddha field. Where did that come from? A moment of peace, of silence, of unity and inclusiveness with all those who are suffering today, especially in the Ukraine, the Sudan, and other war-torn places. Standing in solidarity with them. The family that sits together, fits together, sitting in solidarity with all, including all in our hearts, prayers, and practices and aspirations today. Feeling the sufferings of the world, like Avalokiteshvara Chenrezig Kuan Yin, literally she who looks over the world. The first respondent of prayers, Avalokiteshvara, the all-seeing, she who looks over the world, the Buddha of compassion. loving kindness equal to all, joy, equanimity. Okay, I'll talk louder. Relaxing into it, connecting and dissolving at the same time. Breathing out and breathing in almost simultaneously, mutual reciprocity with all beings, interconnected, interwoven into being, our family, our sangha, our satsang, our beloved community, all beings, seen and unseen, human and otherwise. We will be happy, safe, content, awakened, liberated, and free. May we all together fulfill the spiritual journey. Om Chigmahala Sawada Ama Chigmahala Sawada Om Chigmahala Sawada Kapo Yeshingilo. Homage to Machi Labdra and the female lineage master of Tibet. Machigmala Sawada. Machigmala Sawada. Kapahom Yeshiki Lab Mapa Yeshiki Lab Kusantagi Chichet Pop Maya Chinga Banyo to show. Show, may it be accomplished so. Oh, Mother Machu, to you I pray. Ah, Mother Machu, to you we pray. Oh, Mother Machu, to you we pray. Empower me, us, through the white Om from your forehead into mine. Us, empower me through the red Ah from your throat chakra into mine. Ours, empower me through the blue Hung shooting from your heart center into ours. Transmit to me, to us, your enlightened, awakened body, speech, energy, and heart mind. May we attain your great realization with complete wisdom, gnosis, primordial awareness, for the boundless benefit of one and all. Imaho, way to go, thank you, love you. Our sermon today is the shortest Mahayana Sutra. Its title is Ah. It's the Ah Sutra. You can look it up in Sanskrit in the library. It's the Ah Sutra. That's the whole scripture. Ah. The seed syllable Shunyata, infinite voidness, luminous, fertile, emptiness, openness, Shunyata, ungraspability. Dig into that. You need Vajra teeth to chew up the sky like Shunyata and get the juice out, the juice of crazy wisdom, the elixir of gnosis. False teeth won't do. Authenticity is all. They said there's infinite merits in reciting the sutras, and the more often the better. The seed syllable, bija, the seed syllable embodying Dzogchen view, meditation, and conduct in one. Openness and awareness inseparable. The fivefold ahs. The wizards of Oz. Love it. Sit, I'll get off the plot. You can't say on an in breath. Exhale, release, let go. A little death with each out breath, a little relinquishing, a little letting go. Just don't know. Straight ahead, 10,000 years, bodhisattvas. As the Korean Zen master Sun Song Siddham used to say in spoken English, just go straight, 10,000 years. Who's counting? Wizards of Oz. Oi. Yoho, wondrous, amazing, awesome, Eureka, hallelujah, amen. Now let's chant the 5 ahs of the Dzogchen mandala. You can see this on the cover of Longchenpa's blue books. Ah, 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 again. Ah, opening everything. Ah, 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 faster. Ah, 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 faster. Ah, 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 and then just hold the breath out for a moment of pseudo sunyata, full emptiness. Turn inside out, and then look, sense directly who's present. See through the bubble of separate selfness into the sea of being, from which this being is never separate. Sea of being, bubble like each being. See through itself, separateness, and be free. At home, at ease, in the great sea, in God's heart, in the Buddha mind, whatever you call it. It's even more sweet than any words. Ah, the wizard of Oz. Sweet it is. Pot of gold right beneath your seat. Check it out. Not at the end of the long rainbow path. Stay close. Connected. Get transparent, translucent, translucent. Mani Padme Hum. Om 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 Mani Padme Hum. May all beings be happy, content, at ease, fulfilled, and peaceful and free. May all be healed and in harmony. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 In the Metta Sutra, in the loving kindness sermon by Buddha, the Metta Maitri Metta Sutra, Buddha says, may all beings be happy, peaceful, experience ease. May all be free from suffering, fear, anxiety. May all be awakened, liberated. May it be so. Imaho. I bow to the Buddha, the light, the divine, the goddess in your seat. Don't overlook them. Let's chant together Yawang Drupal Rinpoche's prayer from his crazy autobiographical tale in the Dzogchen prayer book. His Holiness Rinpoche Rinpoche's prayer. Thank you, Dory. Dory dear, I call on you, my gracious teachers, regard me, us with compassion. I sincerely wish to receive your blessings, inspiration, encouragement, guidance, and protection. Please regard your offspring's longing desire. Please bless me, us with the resolve to attain realization. Please bless us to have a steady and smooth mind, so that for this life and those to follow, as a true practitioner whose heart and mind are in accord, the special intention to help others. Bodhicitta is spontaneously present. May we be able to benefit measureless beings. Without the toxic stains of a competitive mind, without the intoxicating liquor of anger and lust, may we be able to practice the peaceful and soothing, harmonizing Dharma. Through listening and thinking, reflecting and examining, especially about those spiritual teachings that we practice, may I be able to precisely determine their definite meaning. Raising the victorious banner or flag of the ultimate practice, may I be able to accomplish great service to the Dharma and all beings. This is the way I pray every day, all the time, constantly, making my breath, every breath, into a prayer of aspiration, of bodhicitta. And I request all of you to support these, my prayers. If you're not familiar, this is His Holiness the 12th Gyalwang Drukpa, the head of the Dragon Kagyu School of Lineage of Tibet. Still alive today in Nepal, Darjeeling, Ladakh, comes to America sometimes teaching in France, in Normandy, but it might be Brittany this summer at his center, La Pleuret, in the last week of July, if you're interested. You can look him up on the web, of course, Gyalwang Drukpa, the Drukpa Kagyu, the Dragon sect. He has his own personal blog there that he writes himself in his lifelong English, being a Lama born in India in 1962. He knows English well and modern things. You can read his blog. It's very inspiring and amusing how a Lama like that thinks and talks unedited, without the advice of spin masters or PR people. Any questions or sharing, please? I left room for questions today. People have been asking and emailing and wanting more personal contact and questions.
So Lama, we do have a question. Says here, in an episode from your podcast, you said that non-dual mysticism is the peak of the pyramid of religion. Quote, at the base there is group, community practice, there is church and the building, and then there is the heart of it, the mysticism, which is more for the few. It's not for everybody, but it's not for everybody, but not everybody has an affinity for it. Could you discuss what determines one's affinity for mysticism? Does it have to do with karma?
Good question. Of course, everything has to do with karma, but that might be a cop-out, but it's a true. It means, like what your affinity is, what your predilection is, what your type or interest is. It's a combination of nature and nurture, of karma, of conditioning, of background, and of choice, both. So some people are more philosophically minded. Some people are more like hands-on, learn by doing oriented. Some people are more analytical, rational, linear, mathematical oriented. Some are more abstract, artistic, right brain, gestalt, intuitive oriented. There are different spiritual personalities if you want to go into that. In short, the yoga type, body, energy, the devotional type, bhaktis, devotion, faith, service, karma yoga, good works, and then the contemplative type, meditation, solitude, silence, and so on. So those are three easy to discern distinct types: the yogic, the meditative, contemplative, and the more analytical or philosophy, or whatever I just said. The devotional, bhakti, service-oriented, good works people. And of course, we all have some part in us. In general, in Christian thinking, the paths of Mary and Martha, those who believe and those who do. And of course, there's no fixed it's a permeable membrane between those two sides of things. We all have different parts in us, but some more specialized and some more eclectic, and we do all of those. Thus, the 8 limbs of yoga. There are some who are mostly a member of the community, the congregation. Remember the pyramid, the many, the congregation, the 1 billion Catholics, or maybe it's Christians in the world, the 1 billion Muslims in the world, and so on. And then as you ascend the pyramid, this is just an image. I know it's hierarchical. It could be in concentric circles if you don't like hierarchies, but it amounts to the same thing. There's the big circle of all of the congregation, and then a little higher up, there's fewer of the philosophical, the studious, the contemplative. And then at this peak, there's the few mystics. Not everybody's a mystic. Not everybody even believes in things unseen or hard to put in words, right? So that's a matter of karma, of conditioning, of nurture and nature, and also of your own nature, like your personality, your interests, and so on. So at the center of the concentric circles are, like the highest, the deepest, like the eye of God, the Jesus heart, the Buddha mind. And then there's those who realize it or perceive that directly. The mystics, that's like the point of the pyramid. That's why they say at the top, all the mystics, the sages of all the ages agree. And most of the arguments about religion and paths is more down on the pyramid. If you don't get that, think of people climbing a mountain. It's very hard to go straight up. So people go whatever, sideways, gradually this way, circling up toward the top. You with me? Or the people that argue with that, they think those are totally wrong. They go this way. Don't go this way. Go this way. Circling toward the top. But at the top, all the sages of the ages agree. The mystics. Read them, you'll see. But the arguments and the distinctions are down lower, where you only see part of it. The view from above, you have the bigger picture that everybody's on the path, or looking for something higher, deeper, purpose in life, meaning, answers to timeless questions, and so on. So that's what I'm thinking. Of course, you brought up in the first part of your slightly long question, non-dual awareness or non-dual mysticism, and that is, high or rarefied or extremely profound, somewhat esoteric concept. Mostly our intellect, our thinking is in concepts and dualisms, this or that. In fact, our whole modern world depends on this binary bifurcation. It's called digital, right? The digital world is all about this, and the millions of thises or that's that go in that algorithm's direction, or that one. Anyway, I'm not an expert on that, but I think I'm going to stand behind what I just said. Now in Dzogchen, which is my specialty, which you don't hear about enough, where it's, supposed to be secret, high, profound. It's very binary. It's either Rigpa or Ma Rigpa. It's either samsara, delusion, or awake. In fact, it's the two sides of the same hand. It's closer than your breath. We're not as far from it as we may feel. It's never far from us, though. We may feel far from it, and so on. Sylvia Boorstein, the Jewish Bodhisattva grandmother of Spirit Rock and the Vipassana community, the mindfulness community in the West, has a book titled, It's Easier Than You Think. I like that. If you don't have much background in world religions or in Buddhism, you wouldn't understand how important that statement is. After thousands of years of fire and brimstone, and talking about lower realms you can be reborn in, or how many hundreds of lifetimes it takes to get enlightened. It's easier than you think. Thank you, Sylvia. We love you for that. I always say it's easier than you think. Questions? Anything, please. I know I gave a long answer. I'm doing that on purpose because I'm talking to everybody and I know there's not 10 questions lined up. Oh, good. Everything's clear. I love it. Thank you. So we're having our first in-person residential intensive Dzogchen retreat. That's a retreat overlooking Malibu, California for 5 or 6 nights. It's on the website in October. Looking forward to it myself. Hope to see you there. Always good to get together in person. Staying year round. Also, I'm going to be talking about awakening the Buddha within, my favorite stories, and so on from my book soon in a special session. Come on in on Zoom and other things that we have going that I can't remember. Maybe Dory has something to say about that. What's on the website? What is it as of now?
So I have another question.
Well, good.
In order to practice Dzogchen, does one need to be in the physical presence of a master?
I'm going to leave a little pregnant pause there for everybody to think about that. And, oh, what's Surya going to say? Or I know what he's going to say. Just think about yourself for a moment. It's not going to be that long. I know you guys. I was the same. So could you ask the question again, Dory?
In order to practice Dzogchen, does one need to be in the physical presence of a master?
Yes. I know that's not what most of you expected to hear. It's also not really what I think. But just to stir up a few thoughts like, what? Oh, how? What? Where? What if I don't have a master? I thought it was the Buddha inside. Anyway, I'll leave it to you to ask the questions. How about to be spiritual? Does one have to be in the presence of God? Or to put it more grossly, as people do in modern times, does one have to believe in God to be spiritual? Just to make it more broad and in English words. Of course, it depends on what you mean by spiritual. It depends on what you mean by God. Anyway, Dzogchen is the innate, natural, great completeness. It includes physical, but it's not limited to physical. Guru Yoga includes physical, but it's not limited to physical. having Jesus in your life, Buddha, Guru, God, others in your life might include physical, not necessarily. Anyway, questions? I see time's running out. I'm going to be off the hook in a second.
You are, but we have another question. So, and it goes, so I'm a little confused that he said Dzogchen is binary. I thought it was beyond all of that. It's all it.
That's right. It's all it. That's the unity and diversity, but that's two, isn't it? It's very hard to observe one. Didn't Einstein say that? Any observer changes the observation? How can you have one if there's no other contrast or reference point? It's all it. But what's the all? It sounds like one. All sounds like many. It's kind of like when somebody comes to visit my house and my PC graduate student niece says, they're coming at 2 p.m. And I want to know how many chairs to put out. But it's only one. I'm poking around here. Any thoughts? It's beyond concepts like oneness or noneness or two-ness. That's the very point. You can't figure it out. Does anybody remember the old American high school koan? How do you fight yourself out of a paper bag? Or how do you fight one hand out of a paper bag? Or how did they get the ship into that bottle? Anyway, these are koans. You have to chew on them. They're conundrums. Then you break through to a bigger intuition, not just conceptual thought, this or that. So in Buddhism, we don't say oneness or one. We don't say none or nothing. We say not two. Non-dual, not separate, not two. Anyway, since we're using words like Dzogchen and Rigpa and God, these are high words, and mysticism, it's a little deeper than, just this or that. Sometimes it's both and also. Four-cornered logic, as we call it in Tibetan epistemology. The four-cornered logic of Madhyamika, of the middle way philosophy, not just either or, not just good and bad, not just samsara and nirvana, spiritual and worldly, but yin yang, one inside the other, the sacred Tao, the sacred third composed of the two complementaries. I don't want to say opposites. Anyway, non-dual is not an easy word to crack. It's easy to use, but not an easy word to penetrate. Any other questions? I see we've stirred up some questions, although they're a little theoretical, and I'm sorry for that. This is a practice hour.
So thank you. We don't have any more questions. But people liked your answer.
I'm after.
And so thank you so much, Lama
How many
Surya.
likes did I have here?
You had a couple. It's pretty good.
Thank you. I like you. I like you all. It's nice to get together and share in the spirit together, whatever happens. Whether we have a good meditation or a good session or not, who can say? Why judge unless you're getting paid for it? For judging.
So we have just a minute left, and thank you so much, Lama Surya, for today and for the meditation, and from me, especially for Machik. And thank you everybody for coming. Please don't forget that donations are welcomed, and that membership is awesome, and that we have programs coming up in on, I believe it was July 22nd, Awakening the Buddha Within talk, and also the upcoming retreat, which I'm sure is going to be absolutely phenomenal too. So thank you all, and wish you all a great week. See you again.
Thank you, Dory. Everybody, happy trails. Stay close. Don't get lost. Love to one and all.